So in the past 4 years, I've been to 40 countries. I just think there's more to life than your current environment. Travel, any country, I always try to, whenever I see anyone that's black, naturally, I'll either nod my head, spud them, whether they acknowledge me or not. I just feel like we're in this together, no matter where we are in the world.
Hey, welcome to Travel Tuesdays Happy Hour, where we introduce dope people doing dope things from around the world. My brother, can you introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is O'Shane. I live in London. I am 26 years old and I currently run Fat Men Traveling on Instagram.
Awesome. So what do you do?
My day job is I'm a technology manager. And one of the blessings of my job, it allows me to travel around the world. So in the past 4 years, I've been to 40 countries and many cities around Asia and many cities around Europe and America as well. So this is the job that I've always wanted to get whilst I was studying throughout university. So I'm happy I managed to get this job at such a young age.
Oh, that's amazing. You said 40 countries in the last 4 years.
Yeah. So my dream job was to always find a job that has technology and traveling. I didn't want to be like I don't want to be a social media influencer where I get paid for hotels yet. But my main purpose was to do technology events around the world. And luckily, I managed to get that job.
Oh, that's amazing. So what got you into traveling in the first place, like outside of work?
Yeah, I just think there's more to life than your current environment. And I was so restricted. So for I think the first 16 to 17 years of my life, I actually couldn't travel. So I didn't have certain documents whilst I was in the UK. But luckily, through circumstances, I now have British citizenship, naturalization, where I can now travel around the world. So whilst I was at school, there was many school trips to Disneyland, Paris, Germany, and I couldn't go on any trip because I didn't have certain documents. So when my friends would say, "Why are you not coming to Disneyland?" I always have to find an excuse. So the day I finally managed to get my passport and citizenship, I didn't waste no time. Any flight I found, I just went. I didn't care about cost, I didn't care if it was a hostel. I just needed to just explore. But I felt like I missed out a huge chunk of my life at such an early age.
So if you don't mind me asking, where are you and your family from?
So we're originally born in Jamaica.
Okay.
But now we live in England now.
That's amazing. So that's actually a city I want to come visit because I know there's a huge West Indian influence. There's some areas with a huge West Indian influence. So I will definitely be hitting you up, be like, "Yo, where do I go?" Because I know you're probably not going to be there when I come visit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Hey, bro, where do I go from here?"
Yeah.
So that's what's up. And so you were born in Jamaica, moved to London, right? Yeah. And you know all of this. What keeps you moving? Like you've seen 40 countries in the last 4 years. I'm trying to see 40 by the time I turn 40. Yeah. So you kind of surpassed me there. What keeps you wanting to keep going?
So I was actually speaking to my girlfriend about this. So we was thinking that when we do have a baby eventually, it's going to get to a stage where I say to my son or daughter, "We've been there already. Let's go somewhere else." So that could be an issue. But what keeps me going is learning new cultures, trying new food. So I would say I'm not a boring traveler. I think people that just go to 5-star hotels only, I find that a bit boring. So I will go to 5-star hotels sometimes, but there's sometimes I don't mind staying in a hostel, meeting new people, getting new friends, and trying low budget foods and stuff like that. So I just want to see new cultures, meet new people, try new things. And there's not a lot of plus size brothers that actually travel around the world and document these stuff. So that leads me to the point of creating our social media platform for it.
That's amazing because that's one of the things that actually drew me to your page, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't no like fully clothed shirts. It was just all out there.
Yeah.
Body positivity, promoting people who more so wouldn't. Because if you look at the rest of these social media pages, it makes little people like me, well, not little, but people like me to shame. Like, if I ain't got a six pack and abs, and pecs, I don't need to take my shirt off. What I liked about your page was that, everybody you post looked comfortable being themselves.
Yeah.
And were unapologetically themselves. And I like what you're doing about the Positivity Saturdays too, which you're bringing everybody into the mix. So let's talk about, you mentioned that, but let's talk about the social media page itself. Tell me some more about that.
Yeah. So I started the page in April. It was last year, April 2019. It was such a sporadic, I never made a business plan for it. I never thought about it. Literally, I was just sitting there one day on my phone and thought, is there a space for plus size guys that like to travel or they may have issues? Because when I'm scrolling on my social media feed, I see a lot of plus size women, which is great, traveling, flaunting their body, having fun, turning up. But I don't see any plus size guys doing this thing. So I thought, I literally searched for hashtags. I couldn't find any hashtags. I searched for Instagram page, couldn't find YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter. I couldn't find anything. And I thought that was quite ridiculous. Maybe I'm not searching the right hashtags. I spent a whole 5 hours trying to find plus size guys traveling. Couldn't find it anywhere. And that's what made me decide to start this platform, because I believe there's plus size guys out there that want to travel, or they do travel, but maybe they tend to hide behind the camera, or if they do take photos, they don't post it because they're scared that they're going to get fat shamed, or maybe people won't like it, or because there's not a backing for it. That is why they didn't post it. But now I find that more and more plus size guys are wanting to go on our page now. They're literally begging, please, you said that last week you would post me, but you haven't posted me yet. I'm like, I do have a day job too. So now I've started to schedule in a few posts now. So I use an app called Planoly, and I try to schedule posts well in advance.
That's amazing, because it's you grew starting with your own stuff, which you were making people all right, well, this guy's all over the place doing him, having fun. And then once you started to adding more and more people, I started seeing your page grow a lot faster, in a sense where, you, like you said, you gave people a platform to really be like, all right, I could flex out here with everything, belly hanging out, because, Rick Ross done made the big boys look sexy.
Yeah.
So, and it's great to see such positivity come out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, I like what you're doing with your Positive Saturdays and showcasing everybody. Just making sure that a good vibe out there, because that's what we need right now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I think, and again, a lot of plus size guys, they feel like I can't show my body until I have a lot of wealth and richness for you to then approve me. If I'm rich like Rick Ross or DJ Khaled, you can laugh at my body. I'm rich though. But if I am middle class, or maybe I'm poor or I'm average, you have more weight to stand on. I can't flaunt anything else on you. But once they get more confidence in themselves, then they're okay to show their body regardless of how much money they have now. And I think that once we started posting more guys with topless or enjoying themselves, more people were more confident enough to then asking to post their stuff on our page as well.
So now, do you see a lot of people posting, more and more men posting than they would have before?
Yeah, and there is some men that will, it's a bit weird, but maybe it's not weird. They will send their picture to us to post it, but they won't post it on their own platform. And I'm like, but people might still find it. But eventually they're transitioning over to now posting it on their own page, and I'll even share what they posted on their own page. And that gives them a bit more confidence as well. And now we got a Facebook group.
That's dope. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, so what are so you've done, at least in the last 4 years, 40 countries, but probably a whole lot more before that. What's been from the time you were I bet I could get my own ticket and go, what's been your top 5 countries to visit?
Top 5. I would say the first one which I am moving to next year, fingers crossed, COVID-19, is Thailand. That drop down dead is the best country I've ever been to. Not only because it's cheap, but because there are so much things to do. You can live like a king there because of the exchange rate. Food is nice, many beaches. So Thailand, I would say, obviously, I have to say Jamaica. Jamaica's a beautiful place. However, it's quite expensive. Budapest in Europe, very nice place. They have an outside thermal bath where it's literally hot. And I think there's 18 swimming pools, about 18 euros. So Jamaica, Budapest, Thailand, where else would I say? America. The whole of America is beautiful. America. And the fried chicken is the one. One more place.
You want the Popeyes, you want the KFC, you want the, whatchamacallit. So you posted recently which 2 for 2 is your best, was that 2 for 2 or 2 for 5 deals? Was your like favorite?
Yeah.
And that page blew up. That post blew up. I was like,
I couldn't keep up.
But these big guys are gonna laugh.
Because I think that American fried chicken is like the best. I tried to copy it in the UK, but I can't. And I'm just hoping that one day Popeyes will come to UK, but they're not here yet.
So the problem is, it's not that Europe and the rest of the world value nutrition, right? And so they actually take ingredients out of the ingredients from here when they send it out that way. So when we come to you, we're like, yo, this Popeyes, this KFC, this Taco Bell, this McDonald's tastes different. Like the food it's like night and day. And like it's bad to the point where even little kids notice that the food tastes different.
Yeah, and in the UK, they've tried to add like certain taxes. So if you want like a Coca-Cola, they've increased the price. Or if you go to like McDonald's in UK, I think all of the fizzy drinks are now sugar-free. So there are a lot of different tastes. And if you go to Jamaica, the KFC tastes 10 times better there compared to the UK. And that's known worldwide.
Oh, so wow. That's amazing.
Each branch has different tastes, things like that.
Yeah, because I took my mom to Paris a couple years ago for her birthday. And one of the things that we noticed was there was a barcode on the soda cups. And so you can't refill unless you buy another one. And it's pre-portioned.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. So how are big guys living out there? Because you guys got to buy multiple portions in order to get more than 16 ounce?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that, again, for obvious reasons, America's more accepting for plus size people. So if I was to fly to America, it's easier to get clothing. But in the UK, it's a bit more difficult. I think there's like 1 or 2 shops in London where plus size guys can get clothing from in person. If you're a plus size guy, most of the time you have to order online. You can't walk into a store and buy clothing. Very, very rare.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. Yeah. So do you still have a bucket list? Because, I mean, you've done seen a lot. And you've been to a lot of dope places. So is there still a bucket list on for you?
I've never actually thought about a bucket list. I literally just want to go everywhere. And when I travel, I don't only like to go to the city. I like to go to rural areas as well. Like there was a Budapest video I did where I actually went to a legal train spot. It's like to do with like the Soviet Union and the army in Budapest type. And I visited it at night. It was like, you're not allowed to go, but I just said, you know what? There's no plus size guys doing this. Let me just go there and see what it's like. So I just think like just going to every country that I can go to and experiencing different things. I must do this, I must do that.
Okay. So I'm gonna kind of shift the conversation a little bit to the kind of elephant in the room, right? There's 2 things. Kind of civil unrest in the United States, and how do you guys see this? And so let me take it a couple steps back. Racism occurs everywhere in the world. Some places it's overt, some places just blatant. I've experienced overt in Europe, and that's kind of all over Europe, right? We're not racist, but the way they treat you, the way they talk to you, is just, you can tell that there's something there. how are you seeing and relating to the unrest here, as it relates to, being a foreigner, but you're still part of the diaspora?
Yeah. One thing, especially with Black people, when I travel, any country, I always try to, whenever I see anyone that's Black, naturally, I'll either nod my head, spud them, whether they acknowledge me or not. I just feel like we're in this together, no matter where we are in the world. So I always try to acknowledge people. In regards to racism, I don't know if it's because of my size or maybe sometimes I could look intimidating, but I don't think I've experienced any direct racism, like blunt racism. Only Poland. That's the only country I've experienced direct racism, like blatant, like racism. Beautiful place, but for me, that's the only place all the places I've been to where I've experienced racism. Me and my friends, one of my friends got attacked randomly, and I was like, wow. I ain't going to prison. We ain't going to prison. Just let the person punch you. Let's take the L and just walk away.
That's crazy.
But other countries, I've experienced indirect racism where I'm blatantly not getting served, and I don't know why. I'm here before many other people. I'm not getting served. I'm being treated differently. So, but I don't make racism stop me from visiting a place. If people beforehand, a few of my friends said Poland's a racist place, I said I need to go there and add it to my list. If I experience racism, I'll address it in two ways. If it gets like very, very personal, maybe get the police involved or self-defense, but I'm not going to let the history of somewhere prevent me from exploring a beautiful place. So that's how I feel. But there are some people that says, no, X country is so racist, I'm never visiting, but I'm completely different from that.
So do you find it that the minorities in the UK or EU are in solidarity with those that are experiencing what we're experiencing here? Or is it more of a disconnect?
I'll definitely say like I think racism's everywhere, but I think it's more not maybe prominent or more shown in the US. But like what the police do or what we see on the internet in America, that would never happen on that scale in the UK. Cross fingers. There are UK police officers that may have like killed someone by like stepping on them or handling them a certain way or pushing them, but we've never had like a police officer put like their knee on the person's neck to the point that they've killed them or blatantly shoot someone for no particular reason. I think America's very extreme. So like my mom doesn't even like me traveling to America for work. She's like, don't go. But I just feel like if my work's there, I need to go, and there's going to be racism everywhere. So you just have to deal with it on a case-by-case basis, really.
And also the differences is the gun laws between Europe and here are totally different, right?
I can't understand that.
Yeah, not every country allow their civil service people, whether police not, to carry guns.
Yeah.
So that's a major difference in how people react to.
Yeah, a lot of people also laugh. Sorry, a lot of people laugh at the UK police officers. They say, compared to American police officers, they're soft. Because what happens is, if I'm physical to a police officer, they'll either try push me to the ground, or if it gets worse, they'll use a taser. Because we have different kind of police officers. We have community officers, which just patrol the streets. They have no guns. They just have a metal stick or a baton. And then we have police on horse and things, and they don't have guns. We have another police force, which are only called out if a gun is suspected. But I believe all American police officers have guns, and that's what makes it a bit more scary. If I jaywalk, if I walk across the road when it's just turning red, would I get arrested for this? So people feel more scared in America compared to anywhere else.
Oh, wow. Thanks for sharing that. And I want to step to the other elephant in the room, COVID, right? Yeah. I'm crushed because I was supposed to be hitting about 5 countries this year. Mm-hmm. And every month I'm experiencing cancellation. And that's just selfish, me being selfish about that. Yeah. But how has it impacted where you are? And how are you dealing with the new norm?
Quick question. Where are you based, by the way? I'm not sure.
I'm in New Jersey.
Oh, New Jersey. Love that place as well. For me, COVID is very upsetting. I understand a lot of people are dying, but I feel like some things are very confusing for me. So in the UK, if you take the bus or the train, you have to wear a mask. If police catch you, you have to pay £100, which is like $130 US dollars, fine. However, I can go to the bar or I can go to the pub and drink alcohol and I don't need to wear a mask. So why do I need to wear a mask on the train, but not in a more social settings like a pub or a bar? So that's very confusing for a lot of people. In regards to traveling, it has made me feel a bit confused, as in, what can I do? Because I was supposed to go to Africa in July and August. That's all cancelled. And I've always wanted to go to Africa, so that's cancelled. In regards to the new norm of going shopping center, sometimes I leave my house to go to the mall or the shopping center. I forget my face mask. So I have to go back home or I have to go to the shop and buy another one. So that is a bit annoying for me as well. But the ability not to travel to certain countries right now is a bit frustrating for me.
Okay. And so right now, are you seeing the increasing cases like we're seeing it here in the United States? Or is it just, because I think there's two narratives, right? There's the United States narrative, which is the biggest bullhorn, right?
Yeah.
Because we announce everything. And then there's everybody else who keeps their issues silent. Not to get you in trouble, but I mean, do you feel as though that they're keeping the new cases or the increase in cases silent and just handling it in-house? Or is it just not really the same?
I think a few weeks ago it was going down, but now there has been like a rapid rise again. So now the government is changing the amount of people that can see each other. So before, you can get 10 friends together and have a drink in the park and relax. But now the government has changed it to six people. And if I was to have a house party now, the government will fine me £10,000 or 11,000 US dollars if you have a house party. But I do think like the numbers are a bit confusing. 1 minute is ridiculously high, next minute is low. And I just think I just don't think like the numbers are as accurate. And sometimes they might just be talking about this amount of people have caught it compared to this amount of people have died from it. And if I cough today and just say my throat's hurting, I have a feeling the government will say I've got COVID.
Right. That's definitely something that is hard because you don't want to go out in public. Like your throat could scratch.
Yeah.
You're like
yeah, that's another thing.
Everybody turns around and look at you to see who's that coughing.
That's a new thing again. Sorry to cut you again. Before COVID, if you cough on a train, everyone would just continue reading. The other day, like I think I ate something like a crisp or something, or chips, you call it in America. I got on a train and my throat was itching. I didn't want to cough because I know that everyone is going to look at me. So I was trying to contain it for like 2 more stops. I couldn't hold it anymore. And then I coughed because what was stuck in my throat. Literally 5 people, they left. They went other side of the train. And I just think, guys, it's not that deep. My throat was just itching. So now no one trusts anyone.
Yeah, for real. I mean, it's hard because it's like the multiple degrees of separation, and the people you hang with other people who hang with other people. Then that becomes very like, unless you are literally quarantined and never leave your house, that's the only time you can be truly safe and not worried. So that's crazy. So I want to get off of that, and then we come back to some good stuff. So like. You've traveled to 40 countries. You mentioned early about like hostels, possibly like Airbnbs, and just finding, getting there and enjoying the experience. Like, what are some tips that you would give like a newbie traveler, either there or here, like on how to get started? Because I think you're an advantage, right? Well, I guess we would both say we're in advantages, right? Yeah. You're in an area where you can literally hop country to country to country, right? For us, we would have to go to state to state to state.
Yeah.
And so you would love, like, people on your position would be like, all right, I want to see all of the United States. I want to see all of Europe. What would be so let's say a young man or woman in the UK, what would you tell them to say, hey, how to get started? Because people forget that, like, hey, back home, I'm learning more. Like, I've traveled to 6 different states in the United States since COVID, just because I can't go anywhere. And our states would be kind of, I mean, not as equivalent, but kind of like going to Brussels or going to Belgium or because you guys have transportation that's so interconnected. Like, what would be a tip that you would give somebody starting off?
It all depends on what your budget is and the type of traveler you are. Like, again, I have some friends that have been to like 10 countries, but all 10 countries are all-inclusive 5-star hotels. Me, I'm more about quantity rather than full quality, for example. So I would tell them to look on Skyscanner and I wouldn't say pick a specific date. I would say pick a specific month. And then you can compare the flights based on each day. So for example, you might fly out on Thursday and spend $200 to go to a country. But if you flew out on Friday morning, your flight could be $100. So I'd say have some form of flexibility. And for example, in November, I traveled around Europe and I literally done single tickets everywhere. Single flight from London to France, France to Germany. So you just have to be more flexible in your approach when it comes to traveling as well.
I agree with you because I did I did Oktoberfest last year, which was
nice,
interesting. So I did Oktoberfest. So I went to Germany, Prague, Vienna, Budapest, and then came home from Portugal.
Nice.
And so we did all of that via Flixbus. Right. Yes. So we got on the Flixbus, however long that trip is. But like in each location, we stayed at Airbnbs. And so between the 6 of us, we split it. And then my round trip flight from here to Munich, and then from Budapest back was like, I think $400.
Yeah. Do you use credit card?
So I definitely agree. And the thing is, I'm all about doing like the multiple city trips. Because if I'm in Europe, I might as well visit multiple cities as opposed to just sitting in the same one for a whole week.
Yeah, I think that's very key as well. Because when I went to my first time in America 2 years ago, my original flight was from London to New York. But I said, I'm not traveling all that way. I want to go Canada as well. There's no point going London to New York this time and then going Canada next year. I might as well go to New York and take an hour or 3-hour flight to Canada. So I just did that as well. I hopped along. Another tip as well is sometimes get non-direct flights. So for example, I can travel from London to Thailand, let's say $700, for example. Or I can go from London to Dubai, spend 2 to 3 days there, then go to Thailand. And that could be equivalent to the same price, but I'm doing 2 countries.
Well. Yep. Yeah, that's been my MO is how many countries can I visit in a particular region versus just doing that. Because like my Asian trip, I'm just thinking Japan, China, Indonesia. Like like this year before COVID hit, I literally was going to plan a trip around the world. Yeah. Start in New York, actually start from California, New York to California to Japan to China, and then like down around Indonesia, and then back into Africa, up into London, and then back home.
How much was that going to cost?
It was going to cost around $2,200 flights alone. And so that was cheap compared to all my trips that I've been doing. Yeah. And then I have a timeshare that would have allowed me to be able to use points to book for hotels. So, and most of the hotels would have been either free or very low cost. So I was looking at maybe a total of like maybe $3,000 to $3,500 just to travel around the world in about, 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah. So, some people spend that on one country. I don't understand why.
Well, I did that. So like I did Yacht Week in Croatia, and that was worth it.
Yeah.
It's one of those where it's sometimes you want to have a bang trip. Mm-hmm. And so my bang trip last year, we did Yacht Week, a bunch of us on a boat, enjoyed ourselves all week. Everything paid for. We got a skipper, we got a host. All we had to worry about is waking up and drinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to splurge a little. And it's definitely one of those things where it's I think people, I like your point about don't worry about the 5-star, because the 5-star could take you out of seeing 2-3 countries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like the Flixbus. There are many travelers that would say, no, I'm too well dressed to be going on a Flixbus. But me, if it's Flixbus could be $100 cheaper or 60, 70 pounds cheaper for an extra 3-hour journey. I'll just sleep it through it, or I'll do some work through the journey. But some people, they don't care about that.
I mean, the Flixbus wasn't 3 hours, but we were all on a budget.
Yeah.
I spent most of my money in Oktoberfest, so we knew what it was going to be like. We knew what our budget was going for, and it was an intentional budget trip because we want to have the biggest bang. We did the baths in Budapest. We did the beer bath. We did the beer bath, the beer bath over in the bathhouse. We ate all I want to say Prague was my favorite city, and Budapest probably second.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So what do you have coming up? What are some things that you have coming up that you might want people to know about?
With Fat Man Traveling, because of COVID, I've tried to find more ways of making money online. So one of the ways I make money online is through teaching English, because I was doing that sometimes when I was traveling. But in regards to Fat Man Traveling, I'm just trying to revamp my YouTube. I was excited when I just started YouTube, but then it kind of faded away.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. I think if I got a camera and literally just spoke about anything, that is easy. But to edit, you're jumping off a boat, you're going here, takes a bit more work. But I really wanted to show plus size guys that we can do that. Many plus size guys are asking me to create a group trip. They literally on our Facebook group every day, they're asking, can you organize a group trip for all of us? We need to go out together after COVID. So that's something I'm definitely considering to do. And I'm trying to revamp our merchandise that we have as well.
Yeah, I think that would definitely be dope, because there's a lot of people that are in that boat that would definitely love to, there are other influencers that I would say would definitely assist with that. Yeah. One thing that I noticed is that if you set up a trip, I mean, if you build it, they will come. Lack of a better statement. Yeah. But it's one of those situations where, for example, the Yacht Week that is going on next year, that was supposed to go on this year, they made a Black Yacht Week where it literally will be a bunch of Black travel guides and companies working together to create a hip hop week. Because usually Yacht Week, it's EDM, maybe one hip hop night, and you're just floating around with the rest of the white people, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But this time they're making it such that it's almost all Black Yacht Week, and that's almost uncalled. Yeah, that's almost unthought of. Yeah. So that definitely would be dope. And like I said, reach out to some of the other influencers. Maybe you don't have to do it all yourself. Yeah. Just collabo with other people, because the thing for us right now is we got to work with one another to make sure that we can get to where we want to go. Yeah. And I think people can see the value in working with you. So
yeah, and I think not to be big-headed, but I think I found a very good niche that no one has touched. So plus size guys. So I think I definitely not using it to its full potential yet. And I think because I have no experience in this, I literally just started it off and it just went places. So I need to sit down, get to the drawing board. What else can I do? But the events is something that definitely needs to happen, because I can't even find a plus size only yacht party or a travel thing that we can do as well.
Listen, so. you get a couple you fellas on a boat for Yacht Week. Listen, I'm telling you, it's gonna be you're gonna see a whole lot of difference. But I do look forward to seeing you guys do more. once again, I definitely appreciate you for jumping on. You are my second international guest. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I love to keep this going. If you know anybody else that would be interested in doing this, please feel free to let me know. Send them to my page. Because I think a lot of people get intimidated by these conversations. Yeah. So I really want people to realize, look, this is just a chill convo between two people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One more thing. A lot of people are telling me I need to start doing Instagram lives, but I'm a confident person, but when it's live, I get a bit nervous. But I think I need to talk on more topics.
Oh, I agree. Like I started this all under COVID. And I'm the type of person usually behind the camera, not in front of it.
Yeah.
So to be in front of the camera, interview people is brand new to me. And so it's one of those things where the more you do it, the more comfortable you get doing it.
Okay.
And people will definitely start gravitating towards it. So I think start interviewing some more big fellas on your live, just getting them on there, doing promo, them helping you with promo. That's kind of how I got started.
Okay.
And believe me, like if you are genuine as you are right now, I don't see a reason why people wouldn't want to jump on your live with you.
Yeah. This way is okay, but I need to learn how to be the person answering the questions. That's what I need to work on.
Listen, let's talk offline. I got you. I got the homework up. All right. But well, once again, thank you.